Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a story that has once again shaken South Africa's political landscape, a story that ties together power, money, justice, and that never-ending drama surrounding former President Jacob Zuma. Yes, you heard right. Zuma is back in the headlines, and this time, the courts have ordered him to pay back nearly R29 million to the state. The Gauteng High Court has ruled that Zuma must return the R28.9 million that the government used to fund his personal legal battles over the years. The judges made it clear, taxpayers' money was never meant to bankroll one man's defense in private court cases. Zuma, who has faced an array of corruption, fraud, and misconduct allegations during and after his presidency, now has 60 days to repay the money, or face possible seizure of his assets, including his presidential pension. Now, for anyone who's followed South African politics over the past decade, this feels like déjà vu. You remember the old, pay back the money, chants. The Nkandla saga. Those parliamentary showdowns where opposition MPs practically turned parliament into a wrestling ring. Well, this ruling feels like the sequel that no one saw coming but everyone secretly wanted. The Economic Freedom Fighters, or EFF, wasted no time responding to the court's decision. Their spokesperson, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, said this judgment proves exactly what the EFF has been saying for years, that no one, regardless of how powerful they once were, has the right to dip into the public purse for personal gain. Ndlozi didn't mince words. He called this ruling a victory for fairness and accountability, saying that it restores some much-needed respect for public institutions. And let's be honest, he's got a point. For years, South Africans have watched scandal after scandal unfold, often with little to no consequences for those at the top. The idea that taxpayers, ordinary working people, had to fund Zuma's endless legal defense never sat well with the public. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the principle. Why should a former president use state funds to fight his own corruption cases when the same taxpayers he governed are struggling to keep the lights on and put food on the table? To understand the full weight of this story, we have to go back to the beginning. Zuma's troubles with public money started long before this court ruling. Back in the 2000s, the Nkandla controversy exploded when it was revealed that millions in state funds were used to upgrade Zuma's private homestead in KwaZulu-Natal. We are not talking about basic security fencing or guard houses here. These so-called security upgrades included a swimming pool that was somehow renamed a fire pool, a cattle kraal, and an amphitheater. You know, all the essential tools of presidential protection. The public protector at the time, Thuli Madonsela, investigated the matter and found that Zuma had indeed benefited unduly from those upgrades. Her report demanded that he repay some of the costs. What followed were years of political turmoil, legal maneuvering, and endless public outrage. The phrase, pay back the money, became a rallying cry in Parliament and on the streets. It became symbolic of South Africa's broader struggle against corruption. Fast forward to today, and it seems like the ghosts of Nkandla have come back to haunt Zuma once again. The latest ruling reinforces the same principle: public money cannot be treated as a personal wallet for politicians. The court even added interest to the R18.9 million portion of the debt, meaning Zuma will owe even more if he delays. It's the legal version of a credit card bill that just keeps growing. Of course, this decision has reignited debates across the country. Zuma's supporters argue that he's being targeted politically, that this is yet another attempt to humiliate a man who once led the liberation movement. His critics, on the other hand, see it as long overdue justice, a small but meaningful step toward accountability in a political culture that has too often allowed the powerful to escape consequences. And then there's the humor in it all. Only in South Africa can a political scandal from over a decade ago still be trending today. Some South Africans online have joked that Zuma's financial advisor must be sweating right now. Others are asking if he'll try crowdfunding or maybe even start a GoFundMe for legal debts campaign. You have to admit, there's always a bit of comedy in the chaos when it comes to our politics. But beneath the jokes lies a serious issue: how public money is managed, and whether justice truly applies equally to everyone. The EFF has been consistent in calling for consequences when public officials misuse state resources, and Ndlozi's reaction to the ruling captures a broader frustration shared by millions of South Africans. People are tired of leaders living lavishly while communities go without water, electricity, and jobs. Political analysts have called this ruling a major victory for public accountability. It's not just about Zuma, it's about setting a precedent. If the state can recover funds from a former president, then it sends a strong message to every official currently in office: misuse public funds, and you will pay for it, literally. Still, one has to wonder what happens next. Zuma's legal history suggests he rarely goes down without a fight. Could he appeal the judgment? Could he delay repayment by filing another motion? It wouldn't be surprising. This is a man who once said he was ready to go to jail but somehow always finds a way to stay out. Whether through legal tactics, political influence, or sheer resilience, Zuma has a knack for surviving scandals that would end anyone else's career. But this time, things might be different. The political climate has changed. The ANC is weaker than ever, facing pressure from both the EFF and Jacob Zuma's own MK party. The public's patience with corruption has worn thin. Every rand misused is now being counted, every act of impunity is being challenged. This ruling comes at a time when South Africans are demanding more transparency, and when the idea of leaders being above the law is no longer tolerated. If Zuma does pay back the money, it could mark a turning point in how the public views justice and accountability. But if he refuses, or delays, the government will likely have to seize his assets, a move that would spark yet another national debate. Either way, the story is far from over. In the end, this ruling isn't just about Jacob Zuma. It's about the broader question of what kind of country South Africa wants to be. A nation where laws apply equally to everyone, or one where power continues to shield the well-connected. For now, the High Court has spoken, and the EFF has celebrated. But whether Zuma actually pays up remains to be seen. So, what do you think? Should the state seize Zuma's assets if he fails to repay the money? Does this ruling really represent a new era of accountability, or is it just political theater? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, everyone,
subscribe to our channel,
and hit the notification
Today
bell
we're
so you
diving
never
into
miss
a
another
story
deep
that has
dive
once
into
again
South
shaken
Africa's
South
most
Africa's
explosive
political
political
landscape,
stories.
a story that ties
Thanks
together
for
power.
watching, and as always, see you next time.